Okay. I think we're good.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Connect the software to go live. We did. Well, why aren't you working?
Oh. Did you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my hell. Oh.
Oh, it's going to work now.
No.
It was just
Okay.
being delayed. Okay.
Slow. Okay. So we're good, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check. Oh, yeah, we're live.
Okay.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
I'm sharing really quick.
Okay.
How can I share it? I should be able to go share video.
Do we have to sign in right here?
No, it'll just show up here, I think.
Okay.
Oh, click on multi-stream. It should.
All right. Are we good, Marcel?
Yeah, I'm just trying to share it to my story, but I can't figure out why. But we're good.
All right.
We're live.
Yay! Hello, everyone. Welcome to How Do You Spirit, and we are so excited. Today, we are going to be talking about the taboo of Friday the 13th, and I've got Marissa here. She's in the background, and Chelsea.
Hi.
And this is mostly going to be about Chelsea and Marissa today because they're our witchy girls. Anyway, what do you have for us?
Yeah, hi everybody. Excited to be back. I am a concept today. This will happen from time to time.
Yes.
But yeah.
That's all right. I used to be a concept too.
We like being concepts. Sometimes that's just more comfortable. But today is Friday the 13th. Woo! Before we jump into the topic, I'm curious what you guys feel about Friday the 13th. Are you suspicious or what word am I looking for? Superstitious about it?
Superstitious, that's the word, yeah, yeah.
Like, what is your experience with Friday the 13th? Do you feel like it's unlucky? Do you feel like...
I don't feel like it's unlucky. I've never been really bothered by it. It's like people like to get Friday the 13th tattoos and things, but I haven't ever been like, oh no, what's going to happen? Yeah.
Like, scared of it?
Yeah, for sure.
Sorry. I've always, I feel the same way. But I say as a Scorpio, I always make friends with the darkness. And so anything that is sort of like taboo or considered to be dark in some sort of way, it intrigues me.
Yes.
So, and I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yep, I'm also a Scorpio, so I think also a Scorpio and Lilith, which is all about taboos.
Oh, yeah.
All about digging into the taboo side of things and the unlucky stuff. Mm-hmm. But 13 is actually a very significant number for Scorpio in general. Mm-hmm. I was reading somewhere as I was doing research for this episode that the 13th zodiac sign kind of falls between Scorpio and Sagittarius. Mm-hmm. And that makes a lot of sense that it's splitting up Scorpio into this 13th sign that was called Arachnid. I'll have to read this.
I've heard of this one, and my dad used to always tell me that he was actually the 13th astrology sign, and I was like, okay.
He's a spider.
Maybe your husband is, because they have their birthdays were pretty close.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it does feel like Scorpio kind of has these two sides to it, even though Gemini is the one that is the dual sign.
Right,
Scorpio true. Has a really light and dark side, and Scorpio is a little bit more comfortable in that like dark taboo area, right?
Yeah, and I feel like often like Scorpios and Geminis are like demonized.
Oh, 100%. We're the villains of the zodiac.
Yeah.
Because you can't clock us. We're different every day, right?
Yep.
But yeah.
Because we're always going through the death and rebirth process.
Constant. And that's kind of the crux of this episode, I think, that what we're going to get to is what 13 represents, which is transition, which is transformation. And I think that's why it scares a lot of people, honestly, because it's a number that is not easy to divide. It's not just like what word am I looking for here?
Like, it's a prime number. Is that what you mean?
It's a prime number.
Yeah.
12 can be divided into 4, into 2. 12 is a good number to divide into things. 13 is not a good number to divide into things. You can't divide it into things, right?
No.
But I did want to just start with us thinking about Friday the 13th or the number 13 in general. By reading from this book, I'll try to be in camera if you want to show it. It's a nice symbol.
It's called Signs and Symbols of Source Book.
Yes. So it's all about symbols, all about just what symbols represent, or numbers, or just topics or aspects of things. And I really liked what it said about 13. So I'm just going to read it verbatim, and then we'll discuss what that means. So I'm not going to be able to pronounce this word correctly, but this is the phobia of the number 13, which is a thing.
Yes.
I've heard, yeah. And
really
I was
speaks
like
to it.
going to write it down, and then I forgot.
It's RU Trixcati cat. Okay, I'm not even. It's a weird word. I have a phobia of that word.
Right. There you go.
Triskaidekaphobia. I don't know.
Dear audience, look it up yourself.
Yes.
You'll see why we're struggling with that.
It's a long
But
word.
if you have this phobia, if so, it means that you're one of the thousands or possibly even millions of people who believe the number 13 to be unlucky. And some of you may even be among those who refuse to leave the house if the 13th day of the month happens to coincide on a Friday.
Wow.
So, dear audience, are you hiding in your house right now?
Yes.
Because it's Friday the 13th. If so, this episode is for you.
Definitely.
And I do just want to stop there and mention that for 2026, there is 3 Friday the 13ths. So we already had one last month in February. Mm-hmm. We have one today, March.
Yep.
I will also say something that's quite fascinating. The last Friday the 13th in March was in 2020 when the world shut down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, was it on the 13th?
It was on the 13th of March.
I'm getting the chills right now.
Friday the 13th.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
so
no.
In the last episode with me, we talked about cycles.
Uh-huh.
We're seeing a cycle again.
Yeah.
And I did, later on in the episode, I found a site that kind of explained the astrology, and it was of Friday the 13th in March, and it was in 2020, which I was just like, that's wild.
Yes.
Also, speaking of astrology, the 13 degrees is Aries energy and Mars, and there is a lot of Aries and Mars energy this year. Like, a lot. And it's almost scary.
It's, Saturn just moved into Aries from Pisces for quite some time. We talked about that in the last episode as well. Like, Aries is all about the initiation. It's all about starting something fresh. And I feel like that is a good omen that we have another Friday the 13th in March, and it happens to be, the first one after 2020 when our entire world shifted.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. And then the last, just as an aside, the last Friday the 13th is November 13th. So that will be our last one in 2026.
Which is your birthday.
And happens to be my birthday. So, okay. So going back to the book, sometimes the number 13 is excluded from door numbers, or the 13th floor will be skipped over and effectively labeled as 14. So deep-rooted is this superstition. So we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yes.
13 has long been regarded by many as an unlucky or inauspicious number. The Kabbalah, for example, says that there are 13 spirits of evil. It's still considered unlucky to have 13 people sitting down to dine because it is a reminder of the Last Supper, where Christ was betrayed by one of the 12 disciples who were eating with him, Judas. However, it's not all black for 13. Despite the year being divided up into 12 calendar months, there are actually 13 lunar months, i.e. 13 sets of 28 days in a year. Therefore, the Mayans regarded 13 as an auspicious number. There is also said to be a secret hidden 13th sign to the zodiac, called Arachne, the spider whose web binds the network to the heavens. In classical antiquity, the 13th member of the group was considered to be the leader, the exalted one. Zeus sits at the head of the 12 Olympian deities, for example, in the same way that Christ sat among his disciples or King Arthur with his 12 knights at the round table. A coven consists of 12 members plus a leader. In addition, a baker's dozen is one more than 12, so 13 effectively represents good value for money. This stems from medieval England, where bread was a scarce commodity and punishment was harsh for bakers who shortchanged their customers. Therefore, they would give away a free loaf with every 12 sold to make sure that no mistakes were made. Interesting. The Apollo 13 moon landing was beset by bad luck, and an explosion could have resulted in disaster. However, no one died, and a crew returned to Earth safely, so it could be said that the number 13 was lucky for them.
Sounds like it.
Yep. The number 13 is shown in several places in the United States currency bills, and in this instance, there is no hidden sinister meaning. Simply, there were 13 states that joined the original Union. In tarot, and you can show that card there, Chelsea. In tarot, 13 is the number of death. This represents initiation and facing fears. Presumably, these fears might include that of the number 13.
Wow.
And interesting enough, death is also the representative card of Scorpio, so that comes back to Scorpio. So initial thoughts about that. What do we think after reading that? Any thoughts?
I have to definitely pay attention when I'm in the elevator now.
Yeah.
Because I've never noticed
You
that.
didn't notice that?
I've never noticed that.
Even hotels will skip the 13th room a lot, too.
The floor. Yeah.
Or the floor.
I also saw somewhere that airplanes do not have a row 13.
So, but do you think
Yeah.
people putting energy into the 13 being the bad luck,
Exactly.
that's going to generate the bad luck, right?
Right.
Exactly. If we go back to it, witchcraft is just spicy psychology. Spirituality can also be just spicy psychology.
Yes.
So if you give a number power, and if that power is bad luck, you're probably going to attract a lot of bad luck.
Yes.
But in the inverse, if you see 13 as a significant number in more of a positive way, in more of a spiritual way, like witchcraft, then you can use it for your advantage.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then it turns into a very powerful number to use. I want to read one more thing from a book. This is from Sacred Numbers by Miranda Lundy. And it says, 13, the coven, beloved of the ancient Maya, and central to the structure of a deck of cards. It's a Fibonacci number expressed in the motions of Venus. We'll talk about that a little bit later. For whom 13 years is 8 of our own, and lets you think it unlucky, unless you think it unlucky, remember the teacher of the 12 disciples is the 13th member of the gang, as the 13th tone in the chromatic scale completes the octave.
Wow.
Right. So if we think about that, I mean, let's talk about the significance of 12, the significance of 12 in our culture and our society right now. We have 12 months in a calendar. We have 12 zodiac signs.
Yeah.
Jesus had 12 disciples. There were 12 gods in Zeus's pantheon. So 12 is the group, but then 13th is the completion number. 13th is the individual that represents that whole group, that leader.
Oh, wow.
Right? Let's sit with that for a second. Like, there's a leader, and 12, which means 13.
Yeah.
I feel like that has significance in the individuality of the number 13. It's taking back your individuality and your intuition, because you are encompassing everything within that 12 group. Like if you are encompassing all 12 zodiac signs, that's you as the 13th. If you're talking about your chakras. Now I'm not super familiar with chakras. I need to look more into that, but there's 12, right?
Is there 12?
No, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7.
There's 7, but
Yeah.
then there's other modalities that also have 13 chakras.
Really?
So it kind of
Wow.
splits out into that a little bit.
Okay. Well, we need to check that.
I know, we gotta
because
look
I had
into
no
that.
idea.
But all this to say, as an introduction of 13 and Friday the 13th in general, it has been made an unlucky number by, I think, society.
Okay, so I have a question. Why isn't every 13th of the month considered unlucky? Why is it Friday
Great question.
the 13th? Like,
Oh,
what's
yeah,
the
yeah,
significance behind the 13th being on a Friday that would make that particular day unlucky, where we have the 13th of the day, or a 13 day of every month?
Yep, we do. And Friday, why does Friday make it
What's-
unlucky?
Yes.
Now that's very interesting. And this kind of goes into more of the fear of the femininity
I
that
was
we
just
have.
gonna say that
Oh.
this feels like, demonizing the feminine.
The
to me.
feminine, because Friday is the day of Venus.
Oh.
Friday is also Frigga's day, which is the feminine goddess in
Okay.
Norse mythology, right? So Friday represents feminine energy. 13
Oh.
also kind of represents feminine energy as well. So having those two combined, it becomes a very powerful, divine, feminine, matriarchy type of number.
So that's why in the witchcraft it can be very powerful.
Well, it's from the research that we've done, covens are typically 13 people.
Okay. Wow.
Yep, coven is 13 is said to be the best number to have for a coven. You have a high priestess and then 12 members basically in a coven. So again, that goes back to the leadership structure of you have 12 people in the group and then a leader. And that kind of creates a holistic
Interesting.
realm. And I want to talk about Venus a little bit more because, well, let's actually go to the femininity of 13,
Well,
And then
there's
how that plays into
13
Friday.
moon cycles.
the moon cycles.
I mean, the moon is typically associated with the feminine.
Yep. And menstrual cycles. So
Yeah.
the menstrual cycles of women follows the same path as the moon. The path from a new moon to a full moon is about 29 days. A feminine cycle is 28 days, right?
Wow.
So we kind of follow the moon here. We follow the same cycles as the moon as feminine people. And let me read some of my notes here. I did some research. Yep, the lunar cycle is 29.5 days. There are roughly 13 cycles per year. So again, we're kind of jumping around topics here a little bit, but if we were to think about following nature instead of a 12-month calendar year, which I believe was made more for taxation and like financial systems.
Okay.
Because again, if we think about it, that's easier to split into like pay periods. You can't really split like 13 months into pay periods, right?
Yeah.
12 is a lot easier to manipulate in a way that makes sense for financial systems,
Yes.
worker systems, the Gregorian calendar. We're going to have to talk about that at some point, because I believe that the Gregorian calendar has also knocked us off a natural course, which why it feels like our seasons are weird,
Yeah.
because we're so off balance with nature and the moon, which is what ancient societies used to follow more. they used to have lunar calendars rather than solar calendars.
Yes.
So, let's talk about this here. Give me a second. Okay. So, when we switched from following the moon to following the sun, we weren't just changing clocks, we were changing gods. So that's pretty interesting. When Rome and later the church standardized the 12-month solar calendar, they were overriding the older 13th month lunar systems of pagan Europe and the Middle East. The number 12 as order, if you think about it, like we were saying, 12 is the number of completion in the Bible. 12 tribes, 12 apostles. 13 is the one that breaks the seal. It's the outlier, the rebel, the nonconformist. So if we think about it that way as well, we are all kind of moving into more of a 13 energy, where we are the rebels. We're kind of breaking down these systems.
Yes.
We're breaking down that 12 biblical structure and taking back our individual power, which is representative by 13. It's kind of that energy of 13. We're taking back our own individuality. And then witchcraft and the unlucky label as well. So anything associated with pre-Christian spirituality, the moon, nature worship, women's mysteries, again, the fear of the feminine, was systematically labeled as evil or unlucky by the dominant culture. So if we go back to what I said in the last episode, I will be calling back to that a lot. Women have that natural intuition. Women have, and when I say women, again, we're talking about feminine energies.
Right.
Men can have feminine energies as well.
Yes.
With that, it's more of that intuition, and that scares people that don't have that intuition. So they have to put structure in order to tap into some of that intuition, which is, I think, what that 12, like pushing us into 12 numbers and a 12 structure, because they couldn't really wrap their head around the 13 structure. I wish I had more to back that up, and I hate kind of just throwing out vague statements like that, but it's something to think about.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So I have a lot of research. I'm reading through my research, and we'll edit this out. But any live viewers, sorry about that. So I also kind of want to talk about, this will get our brains going a little bit, but there's also a lot of mythology around the 13th guest. So as I read in the symbology book before, 13th is also seen as unlucky because Judas was the 13th member at the table at the Last Supper, and Judas was the one to betray Jesus. There's a similar story in Greek mythology with Loki. Loki was the 13th member at the pantheon of gods, and Loki kind of represented this chaos energy, this I'm not going to follow your rules energy. Kind of, again, like Judas did. Yeah. Judas is like, the rebel, the rebel, right? Yeah. I mean, Judas, was he a rebel or was he just jealous of Jesus? I don't know. We'll have to talk about that later. But, you know, the story is the banquet of the 12 gods. Loki, the trickster, shows up as the uninvited 13th guest. Loki isn't evil. He's just a wild card. He just doesn't play by your rules. And I think that's kind of the rep that 13 has in general. Yeah. Is it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
Right?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah.
And then if you go back, you asked about why Friday combined with 13 specifically is bad. Again, Friday is Frigg's Day. Friday isn't named for a Christian saint. It's named for the Norse goddess Frigg, or Freya. That's why Friday. Friday is the day of the goddess. It's a day of love, sex, magic, and prophecy. So what happens when you combine the goddess's day, Friday, with the moon's number, 13, you get mega feminine energy. Mega feminine energy. Which then kind of plays into the suppression of, like, feminine spirituality, feminine intuition. That's kind of been put on the back burner for the last, 400 years or so, as we've been in a patriarchy. So, again, if we go to the menstrual cycle, the fact is the average menstrual cycle is 28 days. and the lunar cycle is 29 days. There are roughly 13 cycles per year. So before modern lighting, before electricity, before we were able to just kind of live whenever we needed to, work whenever we needed to with the invention of electricity. Because before that, they had to rely on the sun. They had to rely on, nature before we created our own nature.
Yeah.
Before modern lighting, women would often menstruate during the new moon and ovulate during the full moon. Interesting. We're all in the same
Very
cycle.
interesting.
To riff on that, and I told Chelsea this when, sorry if I'm exposing you, you started your period recently on the full moon.
Blood moon eclipse.
So you are a red witch.
Or I started actually the day before.
So if you start your menstrual cycle with the full moon, within 3 days of the full moon, you are considered a red witch. That means that you are in a very transformative type of,
Okay.
energy. Your life is transforming. All last year, I was a red witch. I am now, I don't even know what I am because I don't know, my body is doing something. But
its own thing.
if you're a white witch, you start your period around the new moon. And that means that you are growing your energy with the moon instead of against it. Does that make sense?
So are you saying that every woman, that's how their cycles usually end up being?
So mine has gone it'll adjust. It doesn't always go on the full moon.
Okay.
So.
But because now you are, if your cycle is regular, then you
It will
will
stay.
constantly be with the full moon.
Yeah.
Wow.
But things have changed with birth control, right?
Okay, yes.
Birth control or other type of things that kind of deregulate women means that it isn't going to be as consistent,
That makes
right?
sense.
The modern medicine, the modern, even caffeine could affect our menstrual cycles. Either anything could. But what we're kind of saying is before the invention of these technologies or whatever, women would often menstruate with the new moon and just be with the moon. I think that's our natural cycle of things.
That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Right?
I had no idea.
It's so cool. And like I said, if we were following a natural calendar instead, that would also play with women's energies a lot better as well.
Yeah.
If you can think about it, more. Now let's talk about biology, because now I am actually talking about biology. So the men biology, it's a 24-hour cycle.
Yep.
So it's they're going through 28 days that we go through as
In 24
women.
hours?
In 24 hours.
Oh my.
We
That's way
have
different.
28 days.
Wow.
which is fascinating, and I want to look into that a little bit more, the implications of that. But that's why if we look at corporate America, why a 24-hour day, men, biological men, work better in that type of system than a woman. And if you remember my story, I haven't worked for 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that has allowed me to really kind of understand the flow of my natural energy and understand that I actually do work better in 28-day cycles than 24-hour cycles or even a week cycle, right? And I know when my energies are fluxing within that 28-day cycle, and I know when I'm going to have more energy. I know when I'm going to have less energy. I know when I'm going to be a little bit manic or when I'm going to be a little depressive, right?
Yeah.
Based on the cycles. And there's 4 cycles of the menstrual cycle. We'll have to talk about that later. But
I've also, there was at one point I did try to sync how I use my energy with the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. It's very fascinating. And I found that when I'm in my luteal phase, which is kind of it's the phase before you start menstruating, that's when I'm most cranky.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
when
me
I'm
too.
most manic. That's when I have all this energy that I have to deal with, is that luteal phase. And if we think about that in the way of the moon, that's when it's becoming that full moon. That's when we feel all that chaos with that full moon, when it's becoming that
ramping
full moon. Right?
Yeah.
And then you have your menstrual cycle, and that's kind of the depressive state. That's when you have to rest more,
Yep.
right? So we have the chaos of the full moon, and then you kind of have to rest after the chaos of the full moon. So Interesting that 13 plays into that as well. Each of us have 13 cycles within a lunar moon year. So, this also talks about kind of the curse of your menstrual cycle. So in many ancient cultures, a woman's moon time was considered a time of immense spiritual power. She was secluded not because she was unclean, but because her power was too strong and needed to be contained and honed. So the curse of menstruation becomes the curse of the number 13. It's all about rebranding. So the curse of 13, if you're menstruating, because I can't remember, but like in the Bible or whatever, they said that if a woman was having her moon cycle, she was in a tent to kind of be sequestered, right? That's now no longer a thing, thank God. I mean, sometimes maybe I would like to be just put in a tent.
We'll just lock her up for a bit.
Yeah, just put me in a room and just let me be for like a week and I'll be fine. So that's kind of how 13 relates to the menstrual cycle and things like that. Any thoughts before I move on?
I had no idea. This is all new information to me, and it's it's crazy.
It just all
How it all the history and everything that goes back, and yeah.
Well, and if we
but
think
it makes
about
sense.
Like realistically, modern times, we've really only been in modern systems for. Someone checked me on this at some point, like 400 years.
Yeah, it really isn't.
It's new.
That old.
Okay.
The ancient people knew all of this.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we don't really practice that knowledge anymore. Mm-hmm. But again, as we are moving into more of this age of Aquarius, mm-hmm. where it is more about individuality, it's more about taboo. And actually, let me find my phone
Well, Aquarius is a rebel, too.
Aquarius is a rebel. It is the rebel. It is the humanitarian rebel. And then I had this really interesting graphic about the change from the age of Pisces, which we've been in since Jesus Christ, to the age of Aquarius. And kind of the individual structures that are changing. If you guys want to just chat while I pull that up. If you have any ideas about 13.
I'm just excited for things to be changing. I really think we're going to move more into a matriarchy, and we'll be able to use our energy in the way, women anyway, or people that are more feminine will be able to use their energy more efficiently and not feel it. We won't have to feel so tired all the time as a society.
And if we lean into our natural cycle of 28 days and we don't try to push ourselves into weekly cycles or daily cycles, then we will feel like we're mm-hmm. not swimming upstream as much if mm-hmm. we work with the energy that we have naturally, right? And again, if you're a more feminine biological man, you can do this too. Your energy is still the same. It's all about the energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, a biological woman is going to menstruate, but there's also the energetic aspect of that as well. Mm-hmm. But, wow. So with this, the age of Pisces, which is the old paradigm, from about 1 CE to 2160 CE, which I'm not sure what that means. I'm just going to ignore that. But we're moving from ego dissolution to sovereignty. Again, we're moving from Pisces to Aquarius. Water to air. In person to over the internet. We've kind of been seeing that. Even though I kind of want to pull us back into in person.
Yes.
I think there's a balance there.
Yes.
I think we've actually gotten too much.
Aquarius is about community too.
It's about community. But using technology to build communities. Yeah. I think that's mm-hmm. really what it's about. Yeah. Is instead of having to build communities in a physical space, we can build communities more in this technological space. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But we're still connecting as humans. I do think if we're going back to COVID and the pandemic, that we kind of overcorrected.
Yes.
Where now we're all just isolated. We don't physically have communities anymore. And we kind of need to go back into that. And it's interesting that, again, this is the Friday the 13th. That is the first one after that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're going to see a lot more of people wanting to be in communities. We've been seeing it.
Yeah.
People want community again. We're moving from faith to intuition. Again, the 12, where you're kind of in the structure of you have a leader that tells you what to do, and then 12 members. You're the 13th member. You're the leader. You know. It's your intuition. We're moving from I believe to I know. We're moving from religion to personal awareness. I like this one. We're moving from zealotry to activism. Compassion to connection. Original sin to wholeness. And hierarchy to equality. So those are kind of the energies we're moving into, and we will continue to move into as this big cosmic dance is happening up in the sky. Right? And Chelsea, you're so good at astrology. Like the energies right now as well, especially when we're having this year of 3 Friday the 13th. I feel like all of these planets that haven't moved for quite some time because they're slower moving orbits are currently in transition.
Yes.
Which also is, again, interesting that that's lining up with this year that we have 3 Friday the 13th.
I know. I find that so fascinating.
It's all just lining up, right?
It is, yeah.
It's kind of crazy. So, any thoughts before we move on to some of the things you can do on Friday the 13th as a witch or as a more spiritual person?
Maybe we can get into this later, but I'm just wondering, like, the idea of naming the movie Friday the 13th.
Yeah, what was
like,
that?
What was that about?
Let's do a live research on this. Why was, okay, let's figure out the best way to Google this.
Right? How do you ask that question?
Why are the movies called
Friday the 13th?
And what is the energetic implications of that? And sorry for the microphone here. Energetic. I think it's just okay. I think it's just because it was spooky.
Yeah,
it's spooky.
It's scary. Yeah.
They're just playing into the superstition of it.
Yep.
And, you know, I also think if I'm thinking of this, if I'm putting on my marketer brand hat on this, that's brilliant because then someone's going to watch the movie every Friday the 13th and we have at least one every year.
Yeah.
So they're kind of building in their sustainability with that. Funny. And full transparency, I've never seen any of those movies.
You haven't?
I have not. So, sorry.
I know your birthday is Friday or the 13th. But what personal significance beyond your birthday do you feel with the number 13?
So, it's not necessarily 13. 3 is my significant number.
Okay.
And then I think 13 is just an extension of that. 13, just like, other than just being on my birthday and just being kind of that unlucky number, I've always resonated more with unlucky things than lucky things. Because I've always kind of been that, like, taboo. Like you were telling, like you were saying, Chelsea, like, taboo always interested me. And I always wanted to know more about those things that were unlucky or seen as, you know, negative. Because I'm like, why? Why is it negative? Yes. And I remember, because I was born on the 13th, I obviously, in my 35 years of living, have had birthdays fall on Friday the 13th. And I remember specifically, I had a birthday on Friday the 13th, and I was having a sleepover for my birthday. And some of my friends couldn't come because their parents were superstitious about it.
And they wouldn't let them?
And they wouldn't come to my birthday party on Friday the 13th.
Insane to me.
Right?
That's sad.
Like, people really do get scared of this stuff. And to your point, Lori, I think it's because of the power that they give it. If you think bad things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen.
It's coming back to you.
And that's how I view witchcraft. It's like, is it really like, is it going to cause something bad to happen to me, or is that just like, if you believe that's what would happen? And if you don't, like, say you want to, I don't sit around and curse people, but say if you, I have thought about doing a binding spell for someone particular, but
I wonder who.
I'll have to tell you after. But Yeah, I don't know. I just don't necessarily believe that if you, depending on what energy you put out, you're always going to get back. But I also believe, I'm trying to come up with the words to say it. I don't know. I feel like karma is a different thing. I don't feel like...
To come back to you?
Mm-hmm. I feel like karma is more like lessons that you have to go through throughout your life, whether it be generational even, and that's not always your karma, but we all have to break our generational cycles and stuff like that.
I think we should have a full episode on karma because, like the number 13, I think karma is very misunderstood. I think karma is given a bad rap. Mm-hmm. But to your point, karma is just energy that we accumulate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then we have to resolve that karma somehow, or that karma comes back, or that karma leaves us. Mm-hmm. It is just energy accumulation.
Yeah.
And it could be passed down by generations through your DNA, through just like who you are and your energetic being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I believe that if you don't feel like the number 13 is gonna hurt you in some way, I don't believe it will. Like, I think it's just about what you believe is gonna be the energy.
And if you believe that 13 is a super powerful number, you can use it in some rituals today. Mm-hmm. So if you are a witch and you want to start using some of the Friday the 13th energy, just think of it as something very lucky. Think of it as something very powerful and very complete. Mm-hmm. If you think of it like, oh, this is a day of completion, and this is what I can do to... I had something written down that explained what you can do with this energy. Hold on just a second. Oh, yeah. So you can do candle magic on Friday the 13th and really focus in on kind of like what you're wanting to bring in. Maybe you can use Friday the 13th as a starting point to be like, hey, next Friday the 13th, I'm going to have this. And you kind of use it as like milestones as well. You can use it as more of a positive energy affirmation. You can write in your journal about Friday the 13th.
That's what I was going to say, an affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, flip the script. Be like, actually, Friday the 13th is the luckiest day of the year.
Yes.
So I'm going to do all my spells on Friday the 13th. I'm going to journal on Friday the 13th on what I want the next 3 months to be, or the next 13 months. Mm-hmm. Like, again, because witchcraft is spicy psychology, you can assign whatever you want to it in your rituals. And you can use 13, which has all this energetic,
already, yep.
I don't want to say baggage, but energetic baggage. Yeah. You can use that energetic baggage to really just like light your spells on fire.
Wow. So what are some spells that would be good for Friday the 13th, would you say?
That is such a personal thing, I think,
That's
for each
true.
witch. So I don't really have a great answer for that.
Makes sense.
I think you can kind of just sit with it if you want to do more of like use Friday the 13th as a manifestation day.
Yeah.
Then some of the spells you can use are more like road opener spells, right? Or decision spells, crossroad spells.
What is a decision spell?
Chelsea, do you want to take that one?
So I mean, I have never really done a decision spell, but I would think it would just be something to help you point towards a decision that you have to make.
Guidance?
For guidance.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry we don't have quite an answer for that one. Because again, witchcraft is so personal to each person. And I think because you've got me and Chelsea where we're kind of more like chaos witches, we just kind of do it in the moment.
Just kind of do whatever.
I need to do this.
Yeah. Like, I
just kind of use what ingredients or what tools I think would be good for me. I don't have rules.
Right.
Yeah.
But some crystals or some herbs that are related to number 13 that might be able to help enhance your spells on Friday the 13th. You can use lepidolite.
Yeah.
You can use labradorite, obsidian, great adventurite, citrine, howlite, clear quartz, selenite, copper, unakite, bloodstone, emerald, and moss agate are some of those that are related to the number 13.
Wow.
Are there any ones that kind of hopped out that you'd like me to dig deeper into with those ones?
Sorry.
Well, I have my labradorite bracelet on.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
kinda
Not
just
intentional.
Well, funny that's the crystal of serendipity.
Wow.
So, or labradorite. Just kidding. I lied. Lepidolite is the crystal of serendipity. Labradorite is the crystal of opportunity.
Oh, okay.
A stone of transformation and magic, labradorite has been used by shamans and healers for centuries to tap into the unseen. The unseen of Friday the 13th. You were tapped into something there, Lori.
Yep.
Labradorite heightens intuition and opens the mind to new possibilities, making it perfect for a day charged with mystery and unpredictability.
I also wonder if you could possibly use the number as a sigil. So, like, if you carved 1 into a candle or 3, or you did multiple 3s or multiple 1s. I mean, if you wanted to bring in new beginnings for 1, if you needed help with communication for 3. Also, 3 and 1 is 4. So you could, that's like a healer energy, I've noticed, or like stability.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to think
What's the moss agate? I'm curious about that. Yeah, because I see that big one on top of there over there. That's a huge moss agate that I found in the mountains.
Ooh, in the mountains.
Yes.
Where is it?
The big stone right in the middle.
Oh, okay.
I lost my page. Hold, please.
And it was interesting where I found that. We went to a friend's cabin and stayed there. Excuse me. And of course you're out wandering around, and I noticed that, and it looked like it had been cut at some point. It's got very smooth edges on it. And I picked it up. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I asked my friend if I could take it home, and she said, sure. And anyway, so there it sits up there. But when
was that?
When was it?
Mm-hmm.
It was a couple years ago.
Like 3 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago? Okay.
I know.
I was about to lose my mind if it was 2 years ago.
Let me think. It was 2 years ago that I picked that up.
So it represents opportunity and growth.
Wow.
Moss agate has been used throughout history as a stone of fertility and abundance, helping to nurture new opportunities. Moss agate invites growth and new beginnings, allowing you to make the most of opportunities that arise on this auspicious day.
Wow.
So interesting that it has been kind of the energy we've been talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Keep moss agate with you in your workspace or garden to nurture growth in your career, projects, or personal life.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
That's so funny.
Emerald, so bloodstone is interesting as well. Bloodstone is more of that like dark energy, but it represents success and vitality. Bloodstone has been used for centuries to increase vitality and courage in battle, both literal and metaphorical. Bloodstone helps you push through challenges and take bold steps towards success, especially on days of uncertainty, like Friday the 13th. But if you take back Friday the 13th, it's not going to be uncertain at all. Could be your favorite day. Carry bloodstone with you in moments of doubt or difficulty to reinforce your willpower and invite success.
Interesting.
I'm also curious about copper.
Yes.
Because copper is more of that, like, common stone.
Mm-hmm.
Copper has been associated with wealth and the flow of abundance. Copper enhances the flow of prosperity and energy, making it easier for you to attract wealth and luck you seek. So, listeners out there, if you want to attract in wealth and abundance today, use copper in your rituals. Wear copper jewelry to keep your energy field vibrant, or use copper wand and crystal grids to amplify their power.
Wow.
So, there are some things that you can use. Let's see. I don't want to go into that. I have some other resources that had some interesting things about Friday the 13th. And 13 in general. So I also want to talk about Venus and related, because we talked about Frigga and Friday. Venus is also Friday. So the planet that represents Friday is Venus. Another connection to sacred geometry is the famous dance of Venus and Earth around the sun. Venus is known as a connected to feminine energies, with Mars being the masculine energy. Once in every 8 years, Venus and Earth create a 5-pointed star formation known as the Rose of Venus. If we add up these numbers, we get the number 13. 8 plus 5 equals 13. In addition, if you convert the 8 Earth years to Venetian years, amount of years of Venus, it is equal to 13 Venetian years. This is because Venus' orbit is smaller than that of Earth. So Venus kind of plays with the more, again, masculine energies of 8. I'm not going to dive too deep into that just because I don't have a lot of knowledge around that, but just something to think about to our audience. Do you have any thoughts about Venus as a placement?
So I actually have a Venus heavy chart.
What does that specifically mean?
What does that mean?
So I'm a Taurus rising, which the ruler of Taurus is Venus.
Mm-hmm.
And then my Venus sign is actually Libra. So that's another Venusian-like sign. And I have a lot of 7th house energy. So my sun is in the 7th house. So I have a really significant connection to Venus, I feel. But also Jupiter. But I feel even before I knew all of that, I had a connection, and I used to really just be intrigued by the goddess Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
And I just always felt a connection to her. And I feel like at some point I should work with her, but as a deity. But I haven't dived into that yet. But I do, even as a little girl, I was just intrigued by it. When I started learning about mythology at school. So, yeah, I have a connection.
And Venus is that very feminine energy.
Yeah.
Venus is the divine feminine,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Which is very fascinating and, again, related to 13.
And when I was looking up my son's birth chart, it said, well, I just went on to Cafe Astrology, but it said that he would have a very Venusian guardian. And I
Really?
was yeah. I was like, holy crap.
Oh my gosh.
That totally just, I don't know.
You're like, what?
Wild.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how all the astrology and everything and all the past history and everything, it just is so entangled.
Yeah.
It really
and
is.
ties into everything.
It does.
Well, and also, it's just pattern recognition at the end of the day,
is.
right? It's just
so
advanced
simple.
pattern recognition.
Yeah.
Is you're connecting everything back to everything, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Which is one of the things I love to do. So
Yes. There's another thing I want to read that I think will be a good conversation point as well, is the European curse of 13. The fear of 13 runs deep in European folklore. It appears everywhere. The Last Supper, as we talked about, 13 at a table with Judas as the betrayer. Norse mythology, Loki, the trickster god, was the unified 13th guest who brought death to the feast in Valhalla. A death bringer, chaos bringer. Friday the 13th, the convergence of unlucky signs, the crucifixion of Christ, the fall of the Knights Templar, the day no one wanted to marry or travel. The number became tied to imbalance. This is an interesting aspect that we haven't really talked about. Is 13 feels more unbalanced to the human psyche. 12 feels like a more balanced number for us because you can split it up. 13 feels imbalanced.
Yes.
12 was sacred. Months of the year, apostles, sign of the zodiac. Add one more and the symmetry shatters. 13 wasn't just extra, it was excess. Dangerous. Wrong. Interesting. Witchcraft lore wove this fear into its fabric. A true coven, some said, had 13 wishes, as we've mentioned. The image endures. 13 figures gathered under the moon, whispering curses. Yet historically, this idea was less fact than folklore. It reflected Europe's obsession with order and its fear of whatever disrupted it. 13 became shorthand for the uncanny, the unlucky, and the unholy. It was never just a number, it was a warning.
Wow.
So once again, it's that disruptor number, it's that rebel number. It's that energy that we are starting to really sit in as a world and a community as in people.
Yes.
We gotta embrace the 13, We've got to embrace the imbalance, quote unquote. We have to embrace the unknown. And then there were some other cool things here. I think that's all I wanted to say about that article. And I don't know, Lori, do you add sources after the fact? Because we can add the sources here for any of the sources we talked about today. I found some really cool sources if you want to check into those things.
Put those in once we edit. Yep.
Beautiful. Trying to think if there was anything else. We kind of dived into the 13 chakras. I would want to do some more digging on that before we really talk about that. But there is known to be 13 chakras in some systems, which is very interesting as well.
We could do an episode on just the chakras.
Like alone. Right. And then
I need to learn more about that too. So
let's see if I got anything else. Oh, and then this is, oh my goodness. I kind of just want to read this as just a what word am I looking for? The word is gone. But this is the article that was written on Friday the 13th in March in 2020.
Oh.
All right. A retrospective. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
So, this was written by the Witch Wench. She's got a blog, and she wrote this on...
I have something we can ask the tarot.
Oh, perfect. We'll ask some tarot. So, March 13th, 2020. March 13th, 2020 was Friday the 13th. The full moon was a harvest moon. Friday the 13th is a day many believe to be unlucky. This date heaped in superstition for what reason? People choose not to drive or travel. Well, we all couldn't suddenly.
Right. We got forced to,
Tell each other to be careful. Don't take risks. It's more like a meme. Over the years, I've heard many stories as to why it all seems to be speculation. Some believe, Christians I guess, it is due to the number of people present on Maundy Thursday, the night before Jesus was crucified, so the Last Supper. And it comes back to that. That's a lot of the religious superstition. As a witchling, I was told a story by an unofficial teacher. In the early days of Christianity, paganism and pagan traditions were smushed together with Christian traditions so we could all get along. This is why Christians still take part in pagan traditions, and festivals fall on the same days. Until one Friday the 13th, Saint Emperor somebody or somewhere, yes, it's vague, I don't remember specifics, but it's also a story. If you can give me more information, I will endeavor to remember, but still likely forgot. And this is a blog, so I'm reading her. Had letters sent out to army generals which said, do not open until Friday the 13th. And when that day came around, the pagan high priestess was slaughtered, allowing Christianity to become the prominent faith. Interesting.
That is very interesting.
This may be fiction or legend, who knows? It's as good as a reason as any. So the number 13 is believed to be unlucky on its own. So much so that hotels don't have a 13th room, and some streets skip 13 and replace it with 12 and 12B. Interesting. 12 and 12B. Guys, just call it 13. I know a shepherd. I've written about him before, and his mother's tree. You can read it here, and we will share this resource for the readers after. I was admiring his lambs one year and noticed one ewe and her lamb, rather than having numbers like the others, had an X. I asked FJ why, and he said it's instead of 13. I'm not superstitious, but she might be. Would be rude seeing as I can't ask her, meaning the ewe. I love that.
Yeah.
To witches and many others, 13 is a lucky number. 13 lunar cycles in the calendar year and 13 menstrual cycles too. Coven should aspire to have 13 members. Perhaps this is why it is unlucky to others, because they are superstitious of witches. And I love Pratchett. Terry Pratchett. He represents witches so well. I think he represents witches in my favorite way. But there's a quote from one of his books that the witch says, I'm not superstitious. I'm a witch. Witches aren't superstitious. We are what people are superstitious of.
Yes.
To me, Friday the 13th is a powerful day. Fridays are Freya's day. And 13 is the witch's number. In my younger days, I used to throw parties. Now I use it as a time to enhance my focus and power, set intentions, and increase my desired outcome. This day being Friday the 13th before Ostera, and also that's pretty significant. This is Friday the 13th before the spring equinox, which is Ostera, which is on the 20th, right? I believe it's the 20th. Is a good day to practice your divinations and reflections, focusing on what you'd like to achieve in the coming year. So that goes back to kind of what we were talking about with your rituals.
Earlier, yeah.
You can use this day to manifest.
Yeah.
If you believe that 13 is a lucky number, use it to manifest.
Right.
On what you'd like to achieve in the coming year. What lessons did you learn in the dark part of the year? Refocus your plans. What are about to be reborn with spring and new motivational energy. Divine is what you need to be coming into the season. Set your intention and ask for it. So yeah, it's just kind of interesting that was 2020. She was talking about the same things we are.
It is the 20th.
The 20th? Yeah, I knew it. Yes. So we're it's interesting that we're here again. And I feel like today is a very powerful day to kind of switch the energies a bit. I think we've kind of been in a very energetic chaos place since 2020, since March 13th, Friday the 13th.
I was just like talking to my friend about this, how it's just we can't catch a break.
Right. But maybe today's the turning point.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? Should we ask the cards about it
let's
to
ask
close
the
out
cards.
this episode?
I
Yes.
think we should also ask, like, what does the number 13 mean, or what significance does it have?
Love that. Let's get some insight from the cards here.
Let's see what the cards think.
Let's see what the cards think. I'm not going to do this on the table because last time
Yeah, it got noisy.
got noisy. Sorry about that, audience. Well, it's interesting that one fell out. The Four of Pentacles.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think that means, Chelsea?
Um,
Don't be stingy with the energy today.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
say so. I
Yeah.
was going to say generosity, something to do with being generous.
No, it's don't be stingy on the energy. Don't fear it. Don't hold back on it. Like, don't be scared of it. The Four of Pentacles is this man that is holding on to his coins and not spending them and just
Out of fear.
out of fear. It's a lack mindset.
Yeah, it's a lack mindset. It
So-
can be.
Don't have a lack mindset with this energy. Don't be scared of Friday the 13th. Use it to your advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's powerful energy. And it's powerful energy that is ancient energy. Ancient people utilize 13 for their societies. So use it.
Yeah.
Let's get some
I
cards
feel
out
like
here.
if anybody's afraid of something, I see it as lucky.
Right? So,
Oh, that's
interesting.
interesting.
Oh,
Oh,
all right. Let's see if we got any more here. Okay.
oh, there's the feminine.
There's the feminine. There she is. Okay. So I think what I'm getting is, Laura, you asked how we could utilize this energy, how we can utilize it in spells and things like that. I think right now, especially this Friday the 13th, we can all use this for material things,
Yep.
for material abundance, for just kind of
Moving
solidifying,
forward.
yeah, moving forward, and then kind of calling in the abundance that you already have and solidifying it into the 3D. I also feel like since the last 3/13, Friday the 13th, we've all kind of been in this scarcity mindset. 3/8.
Three of Wands.
Three of Wands, which is about your everything coming in, everything that is yours coming in. It's finally starting to manifest.
Yeah.
I feel like to answer that question in a very well, just like round, tie a bow on it, use this to bring everything in that you felt like you haven't had for the last 5 years. Use
That
this
sounds
to,
perfect.
right? Use it to change, to flip the script. Right? I feel like we've all kind of been in this very scarcity mindset since 3/13/2020.
Yes, absolutely.
And again, it just blows my mind when the world shut down.
Yeah.
We can now flip the script and use the energy that is here now to bring in abundance, to bring in community, to bring in positivity and kind of do the inverse or the anti-spell that we've been living in for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really what this pull is saying. And for the audience, we pulled the Chariot, we pulled the Three of Wands, we pulled the Ace of Pentacles, and we pulled the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups just reminds us, if we remain in our heart space, if we remain in our intuition, if we remain in what we know, we'll be able to get everything we need, and we can use this energy to really manifest that.
And that is 100% true. Yep.
So there you go. Friday the 13th.
It's a great day. It's a great day.
It's a great day. This is a great day. And
Yep.
Lucky day.
it's a lucky day.
yeah.
It's a lucky day.
I've had a great day.
Yeah, it's been a great day. And you picked great crystals.
I know. See, it just all
And it's
works
going to
out.
continue to be a great day.
Yes, it is.
And we're taking back our power as a collective. So let's
Yes.
use this Friday the 13th to really hone in on that. I don't know if it's passed as 313 yet.
Yep.
Because I wanted to do, I guess we did technically do energy work right now doing this podcast
Yeah.
at 313, 313.
Yeah, I would
We
say
flipped
so.
the script. We're on a new timeline.
Yes.
Believe it, claim it. Here we go, baby.
Yep. Awesome. All right. We probably should start wrapping things up.
Oh, I'm done.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think that's good.
Thank you, everyone, so much. And we will be doing more lives. We'll be announcing those. And Marissa, of course, will be back and joining us again. We're so excited. And we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.